He's already
Yeah.
brilliant. Hey guys, how you doing? Lovely to see you.
Welcome,
How you doing,
everybody.
Dan? You good?
Excellent. Yes.
Excellent. Craig, we all good?
Very good. Thanks, Michael. Yeah. Looking forward to
Excellent.
this webinar.
Yes, indeed. I've got another little pop-up coming up. Hi, everybody. Thanks for joining us. We're just giving it a minute or two just to allow more people to come in. So we've got about 20 odd people so far. We've had quite a lot more signed up. So let's just give it a bit more time for people to come in. So feel free to grab a drink. Maybe not coffee because we'll probably start before that, but a glass of water, etc. before we get going. So where are you, Craig, today? You in London?
I'm in, lovely grey London at the moment.
Oh,
Yeah. So
is it grey?
it's all right. What about you, Michael? Where are you sitting?
I'm actually in the good old Alps. I'm in the Three Valleys, a little place called Lemenya, because it is half term, and so yeah, with children, it's a good time to be out there. So I'm calling live and direct from the very snowy Alps, and it has been an insane amount of snow. There's like 3 meters of snow at the bottom,
Wow.
which is kind of bonkers.
Okay.
But there you go. So
Can't
actually, most of the resorts
complain.
are shut. So yeah. Craig, sorry, even Dan, I'm sure where you are you in Cyprus today?
Yes. Yes. I mean, let's say
No snow.
sunny Cyprus, no snow.
Oh,
It's a beautiful weather here. Yeah.
I think I've got the rough end of the stick here by the sound of this.
yeah. Well, to be fair, there's probably more risk of avalanche and things out here at the moment. So I probably too much snow. So maybe grey London would be lovely. Just give it
So
a little bit longer because we've got a few more numbers of people have come in since then. So yeah, sorry everyone, we're just giving it a little bit of time just to make sure people are in that want to come in. We're recording this today, aren't we, Craig and Dan? Just to
Yes.
yeah,
yes.
okay. So look, worst case, you need to drop off. Obviously we can send out a recording of this afterwards, but obviously lovely if you want to join us. We're going to have a Q&A at the end, so if you want to stay on the line, if you've got any questions and so on, then please do to fire them off in the chat. I think we've got something
Yes.
come on already. Have we got a chat question already? Oh, okay. We've got some notes taking. Oh, that's fine.
Yeah.
There we go.
So
AI. That's
AI
probably
is with
probably
us.
we're probably at that point now where there's more AI people on the line than there are normal people. We'll get to that point soon, but there we go.
no, no.
Okay, well look,
Yeah.
let's get going now because I mean I've got a pretty hard stop. We want to be done by 1:30 at the latest. So yeah, be about 30-minute session today, guys. I've got to dash off, so we won't drag on any longer than we need to. So look, thank you very much for joining us. Welcome. It's lovely to have you all on here today. Just in case you're here and you're like, what on earth is this session about? Just as a quick intro. So look, today we're going to be helping or showing Business Central customers, particularly those who are interested in financial reporting, how they can improve their financial reports, and specifically many customers that we have that we developed this new capability that we want to talk about today. They had already built out their own exacting requirements, their customized account schedules, as it used to be called, or financial reports, which is a bit confusing in Business Central. And so they've got those set up in BC, but they can't necessarily get the insights they need. They can't slice and dice by different dimensions, by periods, and by different attributes. They can't get the information that they need to properly get insights in a timely manner. And many of them are having to export this out of Business Central because Business Central is great product, but reporting it's static, it's not flexible, it's not easy to slice and dice. So they're exporting it out into Excel in many cases, and Excel, as everyone knows, is fragile, brittle. It's very manual. People are spending countless hours, if not days, at month end doing reporting. And so many people are now starting to look at how they might do this in better analytics solutions like Power BI, for example, but are probably facing that fear of doing this in Power BI because they probably realize that it's going to take a lot of work, right? And if not time, then money with expensive consultants. Well, today we're going to show you how you can actually do that very, very quickly, very, very cheaply with Business Central Insights. So we can get your existing reports exactly as they are and get them into Business Central Insights, into Power BI, and so that you can slice and dice and get the information you need. So just in case you weren't clear as to why you were here today and whether this would be a good session to attend, hopefully that's given you a good intro. So let's just quickly go on to the agenda, Dan, and just cover off what we're going to briefly go into. So we'll introduce ourselves in a second, just so you know who we are, and that we hopefully know what we're talking about. And then we're just going to talk a little bit about Business Central Insights, the products, just 5 minutes on this. We'll be really quick. Then we'll go into like the Business Central Insights financial reporting, what that is, how that's going to help you. That again, 6 minutes on that before we then just show you the product, just show you how powerful it's going to be. Then we'll go on to a Q&A at the end. So if you've got any questions, anything you want to ask us right here and then we can obviously hopefully help you. If not, you've got our contact details, so you can always reach out to us after this as well. So let me just introduce myself, get myself out of the way. I'll stop talking for a bit, and then the other guys can go on and crack on and talk about today's topic. So I'm Michael Davies. I'm Director of Go-to-Market at Aries Global Software Group. We are a group of former Snowflake, Palantir, Google data and AI experts who have been there, seen it, done it kind of thing. And we are now investing in exciting technologies like Business Central Insights, but more than just investing, we are helping them grow. We are investing our time, resources, expertise in making the products better and supporting people like Dan, people like Greg, so they can grow their products, they can improve it and make it even better for customers. So that's me. I now advise BCI I'm from a strategic point of view, and I'm just here to kind of add my take on today's proceedings and expertise and insight. Thank you. Dan, do you want to go next?
Yeah, excellent. Thank you. Yeah. So my name is Dan Pike. I'm the founder of Business Central Insights and now responsible for product development as well. As you see, probably you cannot recognize me from the photo. It's not really the most recent one, but yeah, to Craig now.
Yeah, hi everyone. I'm Craig. I'm the Customer and Partner Success Manager at Business Central Insights. So yeah, I'm dealing with the customers and partners alike, just trying to find out what the problems are and then how we can solve them. So that's why this is going to be quite interesting to be able to showcase to you guys how we do that at Business Central Insights. So yeah, before we actually look at how Business Central Insights solves this, let's sort of look at the common challenges organizations face. And firstly, while Business Central has solid standard reporting, it's often limited when it comes to deeper analysis. So you can generate reports, but analyzing trends, comparing periods, or drilling into performance isn't always straightforward. So this leads to fragmented insights. Teams often end up exporting data into Excel, creating separate reports, and relying on multiple versions of the truth, which makes it difficult to stay aligned. As a result, decision-making becomes slower and less efficient. Instead of having answers immediately, teams spend hours preparing data before they can even begin analysing it. And finally, many organisations try to solve this by building their own reports or hiring specialists, which obviously introduces significant costs, complexity, and ongoing maintenance requirements. On to the next slide there, Diane. Thank you. With Business Central Insights, this is exactly where we try and change the picture. Instead of limited or fragmented reporting, you get comprehensive reporting across finance, operations, and the entire business. Everything is brought together into a single view, so you're no longer relying on disconnected spreadsheets or multiple sources. Because the reports are visual and interactive and easy to use, decision-making becomes much faster. Users can answer their own questions immediately without relying on technical teams. And importantly, again, there's no need for specialist IT resources or complex infrastructure. So that's that side. And then how we do it better. So Business Central Insights, we provide 400 ready-to-use reports and visuals covering finance and manufacturing and purchasing, everything. These are available immediately after connecting your system. So that's key. The reports are highly configurable, meaning they adapt to your Business Central setup, including your dimensions or account structures and reporting logic. They're also fully customizable and extendable. So if you want to build additional reports, you can do so easily using ARB's underlying semantic models and analytic cubes. Row-level security is built in, ensuring users only see the data they're authorized to access. And it's designed specifically for business users, not just technical roles. So finance teams, operation managers, leadership, they can all use this confidently. It also supports multi-company environments. If that's your business, ERP migrations, we can bring that legacy data in, and complex organizational structures. It ensures that they're easily set up as well. So on the financial reporting side of things, now specifically how we solve that problem there, and where we see one of the biggest gaps. Business Central financial reports are extremely powerful, but they're not designed for dynamic analysis. So what typically happens is teams export the data into Excel to analyze it further. Others attempt to rebuild their reports in Power BI manually, which takes significant time, expertise, and often external consultants. This creates complexity and ongoing maintenance challenges. Every time something changes in Business Central, those reports need to be updated. And over time, these manual processes become fragile, difficult to maintain, and hard to trust. Now, on to the next one there. And yeah, so this is where Business Central Insights delivers its biggest advantage. We automatically replicate your existing Business Central financial reports directly into Power BI. So that means your structure, your logic, your KPIs, and your ratios are all preserved exactly as they are. Nothing needs to be rebuilt. But now those reports become fully interactive. So you can analyze performance across time periods, dimensions, departments, or company. If you're multi-company, there's no complex modeling required and no technical setup. You can get that instead of taking months to build and maintain. Everything can be up and running in minutes. So this allows you to move from static reporting to true dynamic financial analysis. So I'm sure you've had enough of the slides. So I'll let you move on to Dayan's part here, and he'll show you through the reports. And if you've got any questions that are popping up during that, then please pop them in the chat, and we'll address those at the end.
Excellent. Great. So yeah, thank you again, everyone, for joining. Glad to see such a big number. We're like 45 people in the call. So what I'll do, I'll go through more foundational setup that's required in Business Central. So we'll spend lots of time directly in Business Central, and then I'll show how this can be moved to Power BI and how the data could be analyzed in Power BI. As you know, Business Central is not just accounting software. It supports all different processes and areas like, of course, sales and then manufacturing and project management and service management and so on. So we support also reports for other areas, but in this session, we're mainly focused on finance. Now, from all those different areas of the system, the data flows to financial module, right? And the master data in finance are GL accounts. So in the finance, you would see there's a chart of accounts, and here, all the companies will have their own chart of accounts and structure of their accounts. They can, let's say, if I open a sample account, I can specify, is this income statement or balance sheet account? I have standard categories like assets, liabilities, equity, income, cost of goods sold, expenses, of course. And then there is another field, account subcategory. And this is already something that we have calls with customers every day. And we've noticed that many of customers miss this setup. They wouldn't have the GL account subcategories or categories configured. So let's start with this. Where do we find this? We go to Finance, GL account categories, and here you can edit list, right? And create a structure of your accounts exactly how you want to see. Maybe you can replicate what you already have in chart of accounts, right? And you can create any number of account categories, rename them, could be even in different languages. You see create new account, outdent, indent, move up, down, and so on. And then on the right side, you see which GL accounts belong to each category, right? So this is more like fundamental setup that we recommend as a starting point to all our customers. Now, once you've done that, you can immediately analyze data in Power BI. So this is our Finance Insights report, and we have different types of reports, but one of them that are the most, let's say, dynamic we call them cubes. So let's say we want to analyze our income statement accounts. We have an income statement cube report. And in here, what I want to do, I want to create a report that kind of shows the same structure as I have in the GL account categories. So what I'll do, on the left, I will select all the accounts, all the categories, income, cost of goods sold, expenses. And in here, in the select rows, I can choose GL account category level 1, level 2. So if I drill up, you see the level 1 would be just income, cost of goods sold, expense. Same I have in the account categories, right? But now if I expand now, I have those subcategories here, and it's the same I can do in Power BI. I can analyze my data using those subcategories. I can have subcategories for income, for cost of goods sold, for different expense categories, and so on. And now I can choose here measures. We call them measures, but basically they'll just create new columns here to analyze, let's say, budget to actuals or something else. So this is one place where we start. Another important setup are dimensions. So dimensions are really crucial for analysis in general in Business Central. Now, if we look at the dimensions, you're probably all familiar with dimensions. So you can have different types of dimensions, like could be more financial, like entity or cost center or department, or more sales dimensions like a customer group or even campaign or something like that. So each dimension will have dimension values, and in dimension values, you can create groups. So this is something that many customers didn't know, that you can actually create a dimension value type total, and then simply list dimension that belong to this group or to this total, right? So for example, we have just a simple example, states, and then East Coast would include those 4 states. So this where you can use those structures, those totals, to analyze data in Power BI, or even it can even act as a pre-saved filter in Power BI. So you don't need to manually select each time a number of dimensions, but you can just create those totals. Another way of structuring dimensions would be using hierarchies. It's a little bit different. Instead of total, you would use the end total, and the totaling would be the beginning ending code like this. And now you can have multiple levels of hierarchy of dimensions. So, and why I'm showing this, because in Power BI, you can analyze all this in the same way you did the setup in Business Central. So example, I have area total. I can click on this. And let's say I want to analyze income. And now I see income by what I'll do also, I remove the budget. So I'll just show the net change. So you see, I have those 3 totals or 3 groups that were created in dimension table. And then with Control key, I can add another level like area, and I can drill down and see the same structure. In the same way, using different hierarchical levels, I have sector level 1, level 2, level 3, and then level 4. And now I can do the same and just simply drill down, and I have the same structure, right? But then I can continue. I can say for each sector, I want to see under that departments, I want to see areas, and now I can further drill down and analyze data. So that means with our apps, you can analyze all your dimensions up to 12, plus all of those hierarchies and groups and totals, right? And then under that, you can still add the GL account and see, which revenue accounts are under this combination, like this, or even a customer to see, which customer was responsible for this revenue here, right? And then if this is a report that you use frequently, you can save it as a bookmark. You can even share it with your colleague. You can copy a link, and this will create a saved report that the recipient will see the same report that you sent. So that's the dimensional analysis, which is super crucial, very, very important for financial reporting, right? Now, next, let's call this financial reporting evolution, right? So next part is that we have GL account categories, but this is just one version of let's say report, one structure, right? But you probably want to see different ways to present your income statement or maybe your balance sheet or different kinds of reports that you generate, right? Because with GL account categories, you can have only one version. So the standard functionality in Business Central, it's called financial reporting. This used to be called it used to be called account schedules. Now they renamed it to financial reporting. We don't know how it will be called in the future. But the idea here is that you can generate as many reports you like, right? Basically, you can create hundreds of financial reports directly in Business Central. And here in the row definitions, you control how the report is designed, what it includes, right? So you can create different structures here. You select which accounts are linked to each row. You can create formulas for, let's say, profit margins and so on. And where it becomes really interesting is that you can include statistical accounts. Statistical accounts are non-financial information. It's something that could be, anything that's non-financial that you want to add to your financial reports, like number of employees, units sold, tons of material, and so on. And that means that now you can bring those non-financial metrics to your financial reports using statistical accounts and create ratios like revenue per unit or revenue per employee and so on, right? And now this is all standard Business Central, right? And now we have a problem. When we create a new report here, basically we need a developer that will create the same report in Power BI, because each report will be unique. We'll have a different structure, we'll have a different business rules, right? And then those business rules will be built in Power BI, and then you'll have one version in Business Central and then another in Power BI and maybe another one you already have in Excel. So that means going forward, it's difficult to maintain that. So what we did with our in our Power BI app is that we support those financial reporting, and we created basically financial reporting within Power BI. So when you open financial reports, here you would see a list of all of those reports directly from Business Central. So now when I click on the income statement, I have the familiar structure with all the statistical accounts, all the ratios, everything that I created in Business Central, right? And now here I can analyze it dynamically, any of the data. I can choose measures, so what columns I want to display here. If I select here show more true, it will actually unhide some fields and measures. So you see you have a lot of different measures to select. You can compare, let's say, current month to same month last year, and you see the variances, or year-over-year comparisons. Maybe you want to pick individual months. Maybe you want to compare it to budgets, have those variances, beginning, ending balances, and so on. Different kinds of measures that you can simply select, and it will be added here as a column. If something's missing, let us know. We will add it in the next product update. Now, if you want to analyze it by any, let's say, different time periods, like month, accounting period, there's another report here. You can simply choose here month, weeks, accounting period. If you want to analyze it by any dimensions, you will have all your financial dimensions here, including all those totals, hierarchies, all of that. Or for some of you who will have multiple companies in Business Central, you can create those reports in each entity or each company and have a consolidated view like this for any of your financial reports. So now I'll show you some few other examples. Recently, we added cash flow forecast capabilities as well. So basically what it means that Business Central also supports cash flow, right? So you can create cash flow forecasts directly in Business Central. Using the cash flow worksheet, you can suggest what to include in the cash flow. And then you also have cash flow chart of accounts or chart of cash flow accounts, right? Where you would have, same as GL accounts, you have a cash flow forecast accounts. Why is this relevant? Because now I can include those cash flow forecast accounts directly to my financial reports. And now I can create customized cash flow forecast reports. Let's say here I have example cash receipts, cash disbursements, and at the end total cash flow. And now immediately when you create this, it will be available in Power BI. I have cash flow forecast here, cash flow statement as well. And I can combine even different areas in one report. Here's one example where I have a simple personal cost analysis. I'll have firstly statistical account to tell me number of FTEs, personal cost from actual posting account, cost per FTE is a formula, and then I have a forecast account, and then forecast per FTE. And all of that will be simply replicated, available in Power BI immediately, right? So that's quick overview. Just to summarize, we always recommend to start with GL account categories. From here, there is a shortcut to create financial reports. So for some of you who don't have financial reports, you can simply click on this. It will generate the default financial reports for you, right? And then from here, all of that will be available in Power BI. But what you can do, you can copy. You see those that starts with M dash. Those are standard ones that are generated through that function. And you can just copy existing ones and create your own versions, and then analyze them in Power BI. And for the end, I'll mention that all of this also is available in Excel. For some of you who want to bring all this data and all those row definitions to Excel, you can connect Power BI to Excel and have all the data also there. So that concludes my presentation.
Nice. Okay. Yeah. Thanks, Dan. I hope that was helpful for everyone. And you got some good ideas on how you can streamline your financial reporting and make much easier key business decisions. What we've shown today is obviously only the demo data, but it's the real value that comes when you book a one-to-one session with us. Oh, am I on mute? Can you hear?
Oh, it's good. We can hear you.
Sorry, Mike, you just messaged me saying I'm on mute. Here we go. Technical error there. If we can connect to your Business Central data and get you hooked up and set up a 30-day free trial, then that's sort of how we get the most value across to customers to evaluate those reports. On to the next slide, I guess. Yeah, and get some questions done. We've got 3 minutes to get through those questions. Is it?
Yeah. So now at the end, if you have any questions, you can put them in the chat, or let me also. You can also unmute and ask questions directly, so as you like. So we have 2 more minutes to answer any questions. Now the typical questions would be around, because we don't have so far any questions, so that's why typical questions will be around pricing, and many customers will have custom fields. And if those custom fields or extensions or customizations can be added to our reports. So let me answer the second one first. In the connector app in Business Central, we have an option. We call it table extensions. So if I open the connector, here we have a table extension setup, and here you can actually simply through setup add custom fields to standard tables in Business Central, right? So that's done through this setup, and all those custom fields would dynamically appear in Power BI without any custom development, right? So that's this first one, and
couple of questions in the chat, actually, Dan, and I think probably a good one to ask is the second one. What is the database or financial system that Business Insight will connect to?
Well, we are only working with Business Central. Yeah, so we're only supporting Business Central. Yeah.
Yeah, and just to be clear here, so our connector connects to your Business Central, We don't host any of your data, so it's just a connector, and that connector gets the data out of Business Central and into your Power BI, right? So we don't host any data. The data is either in your BC or it's in your Power BI. So you will need a Power BI license, but that's pretty cheap per user. And in actual fact, in some cases, using Power BI instead of giving users a Business Central license can save you a lot of money. So you need a Power BI license, and then you just need a subscription from us, which can be literally $100 a month, depending upon the report. We don't charge per user, so it's basically up to 10. It's standard license, and above 10 users, it's premium. So again, starting from $100 or so a month, depending on the report, 150 for the premium for the tier 1 reports. And then we do these bundles. So if you want like the selection of finance reports or the operational reports, we do a discounted bundle for that. But very, very cheap, right? This is going to cost you a few $100 a month versus if you were to try and get a developer in to do this, it would take a lot of money, if not years, to kind of do what Dayan's built over the last like 5, 6, 7 years or so. Yeah.
So the pricing is just published on our website. You can go to businesscentralinsights.com/pricing and find all the information here. Yeah.
Right. And this is available from the Microsoft App Store, by the way. But so you can go there, you can get a trial, but very easy to book a meeting with us, and basically we'll have this set up on your reporting, with your setup within 5 minutes, 6 minutes. We can give you a demo, show you how it all works, and off you go. So 15-20 minutes, we can run through this with you, or you can go to the App Store yourself and download this and set it up, which is pretty easy to do. You need the connector app, and then you also need the relevant reporting app.
Now, for the end, there was another question. If we work with system outside BC, like Dataverse and so on. So when our apps are installed, they will create a workspace in Power BI, and you will have a semantic model available there, right? So that means that you can connect to the semantic model in Power BI desktop and simply combine it with the data from other systems, like you mentioned, like Dataverse and so on, and combine this semantic model and create new reports. So this semantic model, which includes all of these capabilities, could be just one of the building blocks for your other reports, and you can reuse them for that.
One more question there, Nick, from Nicola. Do you need Power BI training? So I'm a data guy, so admittedly, right, I do have experience using analytics tools and so on, but there are plenty of people from a sales background who can just, I say sales because we're the least technical, right? But if you're accounting sales, it doesn't really matter. A business user can pick up Power BI and these reports and actually very, very quickly kind of work out how to do stuff with no training, right? And you can download and install Dayan's apps, and we can help you do that. And a business user can get up and running with it. Saying that though, Dayan and Craig, the BCI team offer free training. So, if you become a customer and you want to have like a 15-20 minute session just to get an overview of how to find things that you need and how to do this, that, and the other within Power BI, these guys are very, very happy to do that.
Yes.
Cool. Hopefully that answers your question, Nicola. But the most important thing is don't be put off. It's really, really a straightforward tool to use. I used to other tools, got up and running on this in no time. So
brilliant.
And we have a library. We have a library of tutorials as well that a lot of our users utilize all the time.
Yes. So that we have a tutorials page on here. Yeah. So our time is up, and thank you again, everyone, for joining, and hopefully we'll talk to you soon.
Thanks, Brian. Thanks, Blair.
Thanks for joining, everybody.
Great to hear that
Appreciate
feedback. Yeah, great. Thanks for joining us, guys, and people. Yeah, really good to see you all, and hopefully you'll all become customers soon, and you'll get to see how great and easy this product is to use. So thanks for joining.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, everyone.